Hello everybody, Dan from Frontline MCOC here, back with another Marvel Contest of Champions Champion Review. As a member of the Marvel Contest of Champions Content Creator Program, I was granted early access to a 5-star Rank 3 SIG 200 Longshot for the purposes of this review. I do not get to keep this champion, and he will be removed from my account shortly after this review goes live. Longshot is one of his world's greatest gladiators, but he rebelled against Mojo and the Spineless Ones to escape a life of televised forced combat. He arrived on Earth and joined up with the X-Men during their Australian outback period. Eventually, he fell in love with and married Dazzler. Longshot is extremely lucky and is adept at taking down his foes with thrown projectile weapons. Alright, so let's get into the review. Longshot is an interesting champion in-game. He's a mix of Stark Spider-Man, Squirrel Girl, and Morningstar. He brings a combination of huge burst damage and utility to the contest. As far as the art and design of Longshot, first off, yes, he only has 3 fingers and a thumb. That's how he appears in the comics. I know this has been pointed out a lot, but that's how he is supposed to look. Now, he's a little bit stockier in MCOC than I expected. You have to remember, this guy only weighs 80 pounds thanks to his hollow bones. But I do think the look and moveset captures the agility and the innate quirkiness Longshot brings to the table. The Special 3 in particular showcases how everything just seems to fall into place for Longshot. Now, as far as gameplay goes, Longshot is a single fight ramp-up champion whose damage is dependent on building up good karma on himself and bad karma on his opponent. Thankfully, it is relatively easy to build up and refresh both. Good karma builds up from dodging special attacks, and actually any attack, just like Stark Spider-Man's poise charges do. It's the same mechanic, so if you're familiar with playing Stark Spider-Man, you're going to understand how to build up Longshot's good karma pretty easily. Now, bad karma, that's transferred onto the opponent via heavy attacks and also nullifying buffs. Longshot has a bonus status, which is called Pure of Heart, that is also easy to achieve when you hit 5 good karma, and it adds different effects to Longshot's special attacks. Now, damage, this is one of the key ones. If you're looking for a hard hitter from basic attacks, Longshot is not for you. However, if you enjoy a bit of a ramp up and then watching the opponent absolutely melt from instant burst damage during a special attack, you're going to have a very good time with Longshot. Moving on to utility, like many mystics, he is able to nullify and prevent buffs on the opponent, which is of course extremely useful to have. Much like Morningstar, he can detonate the opponent's buffs via the Special 2 for extra damage. Additionally, Longshot's Special 1 cannot miss or be auto-blocked, which is always a welcome mechanic to have. On the downside though, Longshot has no regeneration or immunities. Now, the fun factor. Personally, I did find Longshot fun to play because the ramp up is relatively quick, it's sustainable, and most importantly, the damage payoff is there. I really enjoy champions that can nullify the opponent's abilities, so Longshot's ability to nullify opponent's buffs, I did enjoy that as well. He has that nice combination of damage and utility that I'm always looking for in a champion. So in conclusion, as champions get more complex, every new entry to the contest is judged by the "is the juice worth the squeeze" question. Longshot for me is very much worth it. The payoff for investing in the champion is there, and it's great to have another quality offensive option in the Mystic class. If you are a player that doesn't run suicides like myself and you pull Longshot, I think you're going to want to take a hard look at him to decide if he's worth maxing out for you. Personally, I would be very tempted to take him to 565 as a 5-star champion. So that's it for the editorial part of the review. You can keep listening, or you can check out the full blog post linked in the description of this video for tips on how to play the champion and additional pros and cons. All right, so getting into the champion guide. Like I mentioned in the review, Longshot is all about karma. He builds up good karma on himself via dodging attacks up to a maximum of 5. At 5 stacks, he enters his Pure of Heart phase, which grants additional bonuses when launching special attacks. When Pure of Heart expires, all remaining good karma is transferred onto the opponent as bad karma. Good karma can also be reduced by being stunned or having a non-damaging debuff. Bad karma, on the other hand, is built up on the opponent, also up to a maximum of 5 stacks. For each stack of bad karma, Longshot gains 12% of the power generated by the opponent. You can transfer bad karma onto the opponent via the heavy attack, 2 stacks per heavy. Special attacks and heavy attacks also refresh existing bad karma. Bad karma can be detonated for additional incinerate damage when launching a special 2 attack. Longshot, his heavy attack allows him to gain good karma every 0.4 seconds when you're charging the heavy attack. And finally, Longshot is very resistant to ability accuracy reduction. His base ability accuracy is 300%, and this can only be lowered via debuffs. Looking at Longshot's signature ability, his signature ability boosts his nullification powers and allows him to stack additional bad karma onto the opponent. Additionally, if he nullifies a True Strike, Unstoppable, or Unblockable buff, he's going to duplicate that buff for 7 seconds. This is a significant boost in utility for the champion and makes him a strong candidate for a Mystic Awakening gem in my eyes. Moving on to team building in Synergies. In testing, Longshot performed quite well without any of his core synergy partners, which is something I'm always looking for in a champion. I want a standalone champion that does not necessarily need a backpack. But he does have some good synergies to allow him additional damage and a quicker ramp up. Civil War Stories with Captain America and Captain America Infinity War grants him 5 good karma at the start of the fight when facing a villain. The Mojo Synergy, Mojo-verse Synergy with Mojo, that I could not test because Mojo isn't in the contest yet, allows Longshot Special 1 to place Degeneration on bleed immune champions. Love Triangles with Rogue grants a chance to place additional incinerates on the opponent when removing bad karma via the special 2. And probably OP with Domino extends the duration of Pure of Heart by 4 seconds. Now, I don't think you need to run any synergy partners with Longshot to play him, but the Domino Synergy certainly gives you additional room for error, which is nice because it extends his Pure of Heart phase. During testing, the most effective team I found was Longshot with Domino, Rogue, Captain America Infinity War, and Doctor Strange, because that also activates Captain America Infinity War's Mystic Craft Synergy, which allows Longshot to deal additional damage when nullifying an opponent's buff. Now for Masteries, it's a good idea to run Longshot with some Mystic Dispersion since he gets a big damage boost from his special attacks. I only had 1 point in Mystic Dispersion during testing, so if you're watching this video, I don't have that maxed out, and I don't think you'd need to, but I think 1 point is nice. Moving on to Alliance War Defense. Longshot's going to have some value here because he has projectile attacks, and we all mess up with dodging projectile attacks every once in a while. Now, he doesn't have any of those tags. He's not a villain, he's not a metal defender, he's not a control defender, so he's not going to benefit from any of the dominant defensive tactics of the day, but as we know, those are always subject to change. One important note is that Longshot's 300% ability accuracy is active for Alliance War Defense. So for example, if he was placed on a node with a 10% chance to evade, he would actually have a 30% chance to evade. Okay, let's move into the special attacks. The special 1 consumes 2 good karma and cannot miss or be auto-blocked. If Pure of Heart is active, it deals 7 instant bleeds, and these bleeds benefit from the critical damage multiplier. The special 2 inflicts an Incinerate debuff on the last of the attack, which lasts for 12 seconds, and this Incinerate fate seals the opponent and nullifies all buffs while removing bad karma effects. Each buff and bad karma removed inflicts an instant passive Incinerate, max 10 stacks, and benefits from the critical damage multiplier. If Pure of Heart is active, the Incinerate triggers at the start of the special with a pause duration through the special attack. The special 3 stuns the opponent for 3.5 seconds and has increased damage based on good karma if Pure of Heart is active. Okay, let's look at our pros and cons for Longshot. Longshot has an excellent combination of buff control and burst damage that works well in conjunction with each other. He absolutely will destroy any buff-heavy champion, so basically all your Cosmics, your Angelas, your Groots, your Venoms, but then champions like Old Man Logan that have a lot of buffs, Longshot is going to level them. Furthermore, he's fantastic for nodes like Rage and Explosive Personality, because he's either going to nullify those or you can detonate those buffs being built up on the opponent. His burst damage abilities bypass safeguard nodes. I was a little unsure of whether that was going to be the case, but I did test him in against Safeguard and Road to the Labyrinth, and he had no problem with those nodes. He provides another option for the Mystic Doctor Doom role in Abyss of Legends. I am very excited to see some Abyss gameplay once somebody has a fully ranked up Longshot. His special 1 has an anti-miss, anti-block mechanic that is not dependent on gaining a True Strike buff, so you have 100% uptime if it is needed. Longshot has a quick and sustainable ramp up, so that makes him good in both short and long fights, and furthermore you can launch multiple special 1s during a single Pure of Heart phase. His ramp up also doesn't require the same level of clock watching that causes some players to struggle with champions like Silver Surfer and Reed Richards. Moving on to the synergies, as I talked about earlier, they're nice but not required. If you decide to fully invest in Longshot, he will be a fantastic addition to the Domino Trinity, which is obviously incredibly popular already. Another one of his main synergy partners is Captain America Infinity War, an extremely valuable champion that is widely used. And even Rogue, who, while not at the same level of Domino and Captain America Infinity War, is also an extremely useful champion. Furthermore, Captain America Infinity War has that Mystic Craft synergy I talked about earlier, which allows Mystic champions to deal 30% of their attack as direct damage when nullifying a buff, granting Longshot an additional damage boost. And finally, his signature ability is very useful, but his Longshot's ability to do damage is not dependent on being awakened. Now for the cons. Longshot is extremely dependent on specials to do meaningful damage. Be wary of using him in any fight that will limit power gain, particularly versus a Plagued Mind node. In Alliance Quest, he's going to suffer on days that your Alliance is running the Master Modifiers Hurt Locker and Special Delivery. Longshot, as I mentioned earlier, does not regenerate and he has no immunities, so that's going to limit his sustainability and his overall availability to take into certain fights. Players that run Suicides are likely to be more interested in a champion like Clairvoyant, who fills a similar role but is more sustainable and offers much of the same utility. Longshot incorporates heavy attacks into his rotation. They're critical if you want to land a special 2. This makes stun immune matchups a bit trickier, and in debuff immune matchups, his main source of damage is negated. Finally, be wary of matchups like Reed Richards and Void, and nodes like Long Distance Relationship, as non-damaging debuffs will slow Longshot down and reduce his ability accuracy. Alright, for pro tips, it's important to know which special attack you're going to rely on in the fight so you can plan how you're going to play Longshot accordingly, as the ramp-ups do differ whether you're targeting the special 1 or the special 2. If the defender gains a lot of buffs, the special 2 is going to do the most damage. You'll have to work in your heavy attack as you build up to 2 bars of power. You want to have 5 stacks of bad karma and as many buffs on the opponent as possible when you launch the special 2. Otherwise, if the opponent is not buff heavy and is not bleed immune, you can use the special 1 ramp up. You want to dodge a few attacks early in the fight, just like you would with Stark Spider-Man, to get 5 good karma and enter Pure of Heart. Then you can launch the special 1. If you aren't in Pure of Heart, the special 1 basically does no damage, so make sure you have it active before using your special attack. Alright, that's it for my review and gameplay guide for Longshot. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for sticking with me. You can check the full written review on Frontline MCOC. It's linked below. I hope you enjoyed this, and I am looking forward to the second champion coming in February, Mojo. Hopefully I will have a review out for him later this month. All right, that is it for me. Once again, thanks, and I will see you in the battle realm. Bye.